Yesterday, this was taking place. Okay. TMZ comes out, and everybody around the world finds out when the phone alert, Charlie Kirk is dead, right? Your phone is blowing up. No matter where you are, your phone is blowing up with text messages saying Charlie Kirk is dead. This is Harvey, who runs TMZ. It's a place known, I've been inside that place. It's a place that's known for having cameras everywhere. That's what you're known for. You're talking live all the time, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what TMZ is known for. You have cameras everywhere. That's your business model. That's how you blew up.
I was with you in every corner of every room. They capture
That's
every
right.
reaction.
You remember that?
Yep.
There's cameras everywhere.
Yep.
So perfect. If you're telling me there's cameras everywhere, and then this is how they react, employees of TMZ, when the announcement is made that Charlie Kirk has died, and then listen to his explanation afterwards. Go ahead, Rob. That's the announcement. Exact second it was announced.
We're live streaming.
Oh, Rob, I don't want
day.
you to show that. Yeah. I actually want you to show the whole thing. Okay. There's another clip that I have that I posted in the notes, Rob. I don't know if you see that one or not.
Is this the one, Pat?
The one from Instagram. Play that one because I want people to see 10 seconds prior to that to see how it goes. Watch this.
Guess is we're going to see
they don't know yet.
an image of this guy.
There's just live streaming.
Possibly in the next
Watch
20
this.
minutes. The news
You'll hear
conference
it.
is scheduled for 3 o'clock in Utah time, which is 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Janet, go.
The announcement is made.
Go.
They realize how embarrassing this is. His partner's going to the back to tell everybody to be quiet.
The Fox.
Yeah, somebody go back.
Look, Trump just posted that Charlie Kirk is dead.
Yeah, you're right, Pat. He went to the back. He went to shut the hell up.
Yeah. So now watch.
What did Trump say?
Okay, forget about this, Rob. Wow. Now go to, so the second. So then what do? They go on ChatGPT. Can you tell me exactly at this time that there was another crisis that took place in California for us to say that we were reacting to? They make the argument that they're reacting to, not you, Rob. I'm saying that's what they did. So they make the argument later on. Do you have the video of them saying what they were reacting to?
Yeah, him and the producer guy.
Yeah, and so this is when they're looking at it. Watch this here, folks.
We're live streaming all day during this tragedy. Right. When something happened in our office, as we were reporting the assassination of Charlie Kirk, there were some people in the back room away from our news desk here who were watching a car chase, and they were laughing, they were clapping, and you could hear it out here. And we want to make a couple of things clear. One is that I know these people, and they were not laughing. Yeah. They were not reacting that way about Charlie Kirk's assassination. Yeah. They were not. Okay. They would not work here if they did.
And that being said, we acknowledge that it was horrible timing. And for that, we are sorry.
We apologize. We apologize.
We got
caught.
You
had to hear that.
And I get why if you're watching the stream, you may have felt that that's what the laughter was about. We assure you it was
when
not
the laughter
about
was cheering,
that,
dude.
But it was horrible timing.
Okay.
And
by the way, I get it too.
Do you believe them?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So they're saying a car chase.
Okay.
This is the car chase. Let us just show you, and you tell me if you believe them. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, let's find it.
Tell me if this is the kind of a car chase that you would celebrate and scream. Tell me if it's that euphoric. Go ahead, Rob.
We're showing you right there on the banner below. You can see it started in Temple City, and we saw that. Go ahead,
25 miles an hour.
Well, I wanted to let you know that President Trump has said Charlie Kirk has died. So that is the breaking news that we are likely about to have with ABC News. He was shot in Utah at a college there. We've been talking about that throughout the afternoon here.
Okay, so he's not lying. They are watching a car chase, and they are reacting to a car chase because the announcer on the car chase said that Charlie Kirk is dead.
Thank you.
So Harvey is essentially in his mind, well, we're not lying. Go back 20 seconds again, Rob, and watch what happens. Go back a little bit more. Go, right there. Watch what the announcer says. Here's the car chase that they're talking about. Temple City, go ahead.
That President Trump has said Charlie Kirk has died. So that's
what they're reacting
breaking news
to.
that we are likely
not the car chase.
Have with ABC News.
So
he was shot in
So they're watching the car chase.
So, yeah.
The announcer announces Charlie Kirk's dead, and it seems like in all likelihood that's when they cheer.
You tell me
There's
what
nothing excitable
while
going
that
on there.
second the car
This
chase.
isn't O.J. Simpson and the White Bronco.
Exactly.
Pat, I'm sorry. First of all, disgusting of who they are. What TMZ, like an ex-employee claims, these are claims all over that I saw on X, that the newsroom was filled with hateful, angry, progressive energy, and he said it would, without question, laugh at Charlie Kirk getting shot. Shame on them. Shame on them for lying. Have the balls to just tell the truth. You know what, guys? We're freaking leftists. We're progressive. You know what? Charlie is a voice that says stuff that we don't like. We are happy that he was shot in the freaking neck in front of his family.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the entire organization. Let me tell you.
No, I'm saying what this guy's saying. It's filled with hateful, angry progressives.
And I believe that.
Yes.
That I believe.
This is the guy, Pat.
No. I believe that exists.
Yes.
That those types of people are in there. This is the question I want to ask all of you guys. Do you believe Harvey's happy that Charlie Kirk is dead? I don't believe so.
I don't think that's his personality.
Do you believe the guy to the right he's happy Charlie Kirk is dead?
I don't
believe
those
that.
two guys.
I think the guy on the right is actually fairly reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably both on the left, but I don't think they're happy Charlie Kirk is dead. The question I want to ask you is the following. Here's the question I want to ask you, okay? You said the price of freedom of speech is freedom of speech.
That's right.
Okay, fair. We're not happy by the way those employees reacted. They're celebrating. These guys are not telling the truth. Harvey, respectfully, you're not telling the truth. You're telling the truth that they reacted to a car chase. Yes, but they reacted to what the announcer on the car chase said, not the actual car chase. There was nothing exciting happening the same exact second, the same exact minute to have that kind of a euphoric reaction. Okay? That's absolutely embarrassing. If you have all the cameras all over the place, that's your business model. Show the camera footage. You have it. What were they reacting to? You have the camera footage in the back. Everywhere in that facility has cameras. Number two, what should happen to those people in the back that were celebrating? You're operating the company. You find out somebody is celebrating that. What should happen to those people?
Well, first of all, that behavior is despicable. Freedom of speech is a man coming to a podium expressing his views, and you don't like it. Omar going with a reporter expressing her views, and we don't like it. And there's consequences. You could get unelected. There's a lot of things that could happen. That is despicable behavior. And that kind of thing, you're employed by somebody, and there are standards of behavior. There is freedom of speech, at Valuetainment, just like there is at every company. Pat, I hate you. I don't like working for you, and I think you're a horrible,
You don't need to say public.
horrible leader. And guess what? You know what that means?
What?
You're fired.
Yeah.
We can say, okay, well, I'm sorry that you have that opinion. That's pretty despicable behavior, and that's a despicable opinion. So guess what? You're fired. You don't have to work here.
Well, what should happen here?
I think he should do it because I think there's an irony here. My take on this, there's an irony. Harvey has made his career on busting celebrities that lie when they're arrested, and then this video, that video, this person, that person, and then they bust them. They go, no.
What a great point.
Here's what really happened.
That's right.
And now Harvey's in the middle of it, right there, busted, and sitting there in front of the spotlight the same way he puts celebrities and other people in front of the spotlight and would say, that's not what happened.
The part I don't
TMZ
like-
got you. We paid an
Yeah.
informant. We got this. And so he is not taking a leadership position in his company
That's the problem.
against
That's the
despicable
problem.
behavior.
But here's the question. The problem to me here is the way he handled it. That's the only problem I have, because this is how MSNBC handled it. We're not ones that wakes up in the morning saying MSNBC makes all the right decisions in the world with the values and principles they stand for.
Low
But watch what
probability we
happened
say
here.
that.
Go ahead, Rob.
But following up on what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
What happened to MSNBC afterwards? What did they do to that guy? He got fired. So you can love or hate MSNBC. What did MSNBC say? Hate is not allowed in our company. MSNBC fires Matthew Dowd after Charlie Kirk shooting comments, reports say. TMZ, Harvey, you have to make this good. I'm one that actually watched some of the stuff that you've done over the years, and it's actually good.
I agree.
For you to defend and lie about what they reacted to, you lost so much credibility with me. So much credibility with me for you to behave that way. This is not the right type of way to behave. You know your guy in the back was celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Is that what the company represents? If you fully claim your lady in the back that was screaming or the employees that were screaming,
sounded like a few of them.
Show the videos. I want to see them. If you at all at this point are feeling angry and you relate to guys like Vinny, when we call Vinny or Tom calls Vinny the angry patriot, and that stuck since that day till today, and you're in that community as well, you may want to go to vtmerch.com and place an order on Angry Patriot. We're going to put the link below, Rob, on the Angry Patriot, the hats, the shirts. There's a bunch of gear there. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.
It seems the liberal left can't stop themselves. They have to dance on the grave, almost literally, of Charlie Kirk. And of course, the only way they can slander him in death is to lie about him. We've got some horrendous examples of that to show you. The first one is probably the worst. It comes from none other than the old gray lady, the New York Times, the paper of record, they like to tell us. They wrote an obituary of Charlie Kirk. In the headline, they called him a provocateur, because he was asking for it. But apparently they made a bit of a factual error. During the writing of the obituary, they had to find something horrible that he said to explain to the readers of the New York Times on the Upper West Side why Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So they laid out there all the anti-Semitic things that he said, because he hated Jews. And then today came this correction. Check it out. Correction was made on September 11th. An earlier version of this article described incorrectly an anti-Semitic statement that Charlie Kirk had made on an episode of his podcast. He was quoting a statement from a post on social media and went on to critique it. It was not his own statement. In other words, Charlie was doing his podcast and he was reading something horrible that something had said, something I do on this show every day. Usually it's something horrible some Democrat says in the New York Times. And then the Times took that, Charlie Kirk reading some horrible thing some other person said, which he then turned around and criticized and attacked and disavowed. They left that part out and printed that he had said the horrible anti-Semitic thing. And I gotta tell you something, as a person who has worked in journalism for, almost 2 decades now, that kind of fact is the easiest kind of fact to check. Whoever wrote the original article for the New York Times did not discover their error at the time because they didn't look for it. They didn't want to discover it. In fact, it didn't even occur to them. They saw the thing that Charlie Kirk said, and based on their predisposition against him and their presupposition of who he was, it made sense that he would say that, so let's go run with it. They're disgusting. By the way, David Burge of Iowa Hawk blog contextualized this correction beautifully by saying, we regret the error. Now back to the latest official casualty statistics from Hamas, because this is what the New York Times does every day. They don't care about the sources that deliver them lies. They print the lies because those lies fit their agenda, their political point of view. But that's just the beginning of the lies that were told about Charlie by the organized, respectable, elitist left. That's the New York Times. You don't get more respectable than that. And here's Stephen King, best-selling novelist on the planet, and a crazy, deranged, Trump-hating leftist. he decided that it would be a really great idea to take a post honoring Charlie. You know, I got to pause here for a second. Why can't they let us mourn? Why do they have to stick their nose into our grief and our sorrow? I'm not asking you to love Charlie Kirk. I'm not asking you to like him or even respect him. You can hate him. Just leave us alone. Let us grieve him. Let us love him. Let us go through this process. Why do you have to butt your nose in and urinate all over our parade? But that's what Stephen King decided to do. Here's Jesse Waters. He posted a video tribute to Charlie. And again, remember, think about the demented mind that it takes to be Stephen King in this moment, knowing that Jesse is not just reporting on a figure in the movement and the murder of an important political figure and media figure. No, Stephen King knows full well that Jesse Waters had a personal relationship with Charlie Kirk. And that's the other thing. They get off on this. They love crapping all over us in our grief, not just for an important political figure and an important voice, but also someone that we had a relationship with. Who does that? Who goes out of their way and says, oh, these people are feeling sorrow because this person has died, so now I'm going to jump in there and tell them why the person they're sad about is a piece of garbage, which is what Stephen King decided to do. Jesse Waters posts, Charlie Kirk was not a controversial or polarizing man. Charlie was a patriot. This is a turning point, and we all need to turn in the right direction. Rest in peace. So, of course, Stephen King, he needs to defecate all over it. So he says, he advocated stoning gays to death. Just saying. The man's a monster. I was about to say there was something wrong with him mentally, but actually, no, that's too easy. He's too smart. He's too focused. He's fine. He's not mentally incapacitated. He doesn't suffer from bipolar disease. He's not got clinical depression. No. He's actually mentally sound as a board. He's just an evil piece of shit is what he is. You have to have a special kind of evil to decide, yep, I'm going to do this now. Hang on. I'll show him. I'll show you. Oh, you're sad? You're sad about this guy dying? Here, let me jump in there. He advocating stoning gays to death, just saying, says Stephen King. Now, this caused quite the uproar, as you can imagine, including and most specifically from gay conservatives who knew Charlie well and knew that Charlie actually was quite the opposite. In fact, I don't know if this ever came publicly or not, but I know privately Charlie actually took some criticism from some Christian conservatives because Charlie was so open to gay conservatives in the movement and said, listen, what you do in your bedroom is your business. I disagree with you. I think it's sinful. But if you agree with me and you're part of the conservative movement, welcome aboard. That's how Charlie was. And by the way, that's pretty much how I am as well. But there are some who think, no, that's wrong. We should always condemn and we should always, not be that. I don't want to get into that. But I know that Charlie got some criticism from people in the conservative movement for being as open to gay conservatives as he was. I don't know, David Rubin, I think Guy Benson, I think a couple of other people who were openly gay and conservative, they punched back at Stephen King and basically told him to go F himself. So Stephen King then deleted his original post that you're looking at right now and then put out his apology. Now look at his apology post. I apologize for saying Charlie Kirk advocated stoning gays. What he actually demonstrated was how some people cherry pick biblical passages. Now, I don't actually have any idea what the hell he's talking about there with regard to cherry picking biblical passages. And the fact that he had to not just let his... I apologize for saying Charlie Kirk advocated stoning gays. I was wrong, period, is the way you do it, Steve. I'm sorry. I know that you're like a Pulitzer Prize-winning, best-selling novelist with a gajillion copies of your book sold. So forgive me for giving you a rewrite. but let me help you with the English language and explain to you how you properly apologize for getting something wrong. But no, he couldn't even do that. He had to equivocate it in some way and still have it be some bash against Bible-believing, faith-based individuals who dare to think that perhaps homosexual acts are sinful because, well, that's what our religion teaches us. So his apology is, I apologize for saying Charlie Kirk advocated stoning gays. What he actually demonstrated was how some people cherry-pick biblical passages. And we're all supposed to be grateful that Stephen King apologized. And by the way, it's been pointed out that Charlie probably would have accepted that apology and then invited Stephen onto his show to talk it out. And Stephen, I'm sure, would have declined because we don't want to platform people like Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to grace you with my presence. Yeah, trust me. You'd be the one receiving the grace, Steve. I, for one, I am not grateful for his apology, and I'm not going to bend over backwards to say, okay, let's give credit where it's due. He apologized, because it's not really an apology, number one. And number two, as Jarvis points out properly, I would like to commend Stephen King, who in a moment of humility that is all too rare in our current internet culture, admitted to making a minor factual error while celebrating the murder of his political opponent. That was big of him. That's right. I'm sorry, he doesn't get any credit for acknowledging that he was wrong about what Charlie Kirk advocated, because the original sin, if I may use that phrase, Stephen King, was the fact that you decided to jump in and celebrate Charlie's murder in the first place. You should have just kept your phone down or used it for whatever other nefarious purpose you've got in mind and leave us alone in our grief. That's kind of all we're asking right now. And Jarvis is great. Well done. Meanwhile, those are sort of the subtler kind of ways that people had to lie about Charlie Kirk and then afterwards sort of mea culpa it and apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry. Gosh. But then there was the more overt, in-your-face, unabashed, unapologetic, hateful rhetoric that you get from, well, kind of who you'd expect to get it from. Congresswoman, is she still a congresswoman? Yeah? Really? Great job, Minnesota. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar with Mehdi Hassan, who, of course, works for some terror-funding Middle East organization there who wants to make sure that his obnoxious views get heard. Here they were talking about Charlie Kirk. And can you feel the love here from these two? Let's check out the love, compassion, and understanding from our bleeding heart liberal leftists who are just full of empathy for their fellow man.
What I do know for sure is that, you know, Charlie was someone who once said, you know, guns save lives after a school shooting. Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard, downplay slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country by saying Juneteenth should never exist. And I think, you know, there are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, you know, like than to completely pretend that, you know, his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or so.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's the sympathetic, empathetic, feel the love liberal left in America. Did you notice the little jujitsu there? This is what I love about them. If you suddenly don't immediately pivot on every biological, scientific, and Western civilizational norm that we have known for millennia, that there are two sexes, male and female, and there ain't nothing else. If you don't immediately disregard that truth and adopt the idea that there are now 85 genders, pick and choose whatever you'd like. You're not wrong. We don't respectfully disagree. No, if you're not on board and follow them allowing boys into girls' locker rooms and boys into girls' sports and boys into girls' bathrooms, if you dare to say that if you're a heterosexual man and you're attracted to women, therefore you will not date a man dressed up like a woman, because that's hateful. If you don't go all in on every little aspect of their warped transgender activism, they will call you a hateful bigot. The Juneteenth holiday has only been in existence at the federal level for 6 years. And if you voice your opinion and say, yeah, I don't think it should be a federal holiday, I'm sorry. You are, in her words, downplaying slavery. That's how she put it. Oh, yeah. So if you're not on board with a holiday that didn't exist until, just a handful of years ago, and you dare to say, yeah, I disagree, you're downplaying slavery and therefore a racist. This is what they do. They keep moving the line of what is extreme and extreme and extreme and extreme so far. And if you don't follow them down that line, they will call you the extremist, even though you haven't budged where you are. You believe exactly what you believe today, what you believed 20 years ago. And 20 years ago, they were so much closer to you. But now they've moved so far away and force you to accept the extremes as norm. And if you dare to question it or challenge it, you are the hateful, racist, xenophobic, homophobic bigot. And that's what you just heard articulated here. I mentioned it the other day when Matthew Dowd, who advised George W. Bush 20 years ago when he was president of the United States, when Matthew Dowd said that Charlie Kirk peddled in hate speech, and when you deliver hate speech, you end up reaping hateful actions. That's what Matthew Dowd said. Every single political position that Charlie Kirk voiced on a regular basis with his platform were what George W. Bush, when president of the United States, claimed he supported as well. Pro-life, anti-gay marriage, pro-secure borders, enforcing our immigration laws, pro-law and order, strong on crime, supporting Israel, on and on and on. Matthew Dowd made a very beautiful, hefty paycheck from your tax dollars when he worked in the White House and from your campaign donations when he worked for the Bush campaign. He happily cashed those checks and claimed that he supported those political ideals too. But now, because he's on the outside looking in, he calls all of those positions hate speech that deserve violent recourse. This is what they've done. This is what they've done. And you and I, we're just still standing here, loving our country and loving our faith and trying to raise our kids and trying to follow the rules. And if we dare not agree with them and follow them off the radical left-wing cliff, we're the problem. And that's exactly what you just heard from Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar. By the way, she also issued some sort of statement. It's not an apology. In fact, she claims that what you just saw is fake news and a lie. While I disagreed with Charlie Kirk vehemently about his rhetoric, my heart breaks for his wife and children. I don't wish violence on anyone. My faith teaches me the power of peace. What was her faith again? Oh, yeah, that's right. The peaceful religion. Forgot about that. Empathy and compassion. Right-wing accounts trying to spin a false story when I condemned his murder multiple times is fitting for their agenda to villainize the left, to hide from the fact that Donald Trump gins up hate on a daily basis. Then she gives a link to the full interview. Yeah, we're not going to give Mehdi Hassan or you the clicks, ma'am. We're not spinning anything. Those were your words. They weren't out of context. I have more respect for you if you stood up and said, yeah, I said what I said. I don't want him dead, but let's face it. Which is exactly what she said. But, you know, we continue to get all of these calls to tone down the rhetoric and dial it back. And, you know, oh, gosh, how did we get here? And maybe now it's going to be, yeah, well, I hate to break it to you, but Jasmine Crockett is right back where she's always been, as if nothing happened on September 10th. Here she is today.
Me disagreeing with you, me calling you, you know, I want to be Hitler. All those things are like not necessarily saying go out and hurt somebody. But when you're literally telling people at rallies, yeah, beat them up and that kind of stuff, like you are promoting like a culture of violence.
So there's Jasmine Crockett trying to make a point, I guess, somewhere in there. And I do love Charlemagne the God on Breakfast Club, just as if that was coherent. But I deciphered it. And what she's saying is, hey, it's okay if we call Trump wannabe Hitler, because that's not calling for violence. But the stuff Trump says, well, yeah, that's calling for violence. And that we have to condemn. But it's okay if we call Trump a wannabe Hitler. And so, of course, as if nothing happened this week, she goes ahead and calls Trump a wannabe Hitler. Listen, I'm doing my best to hold on to hope and be positive and think that things are going to change here. I really am. And every little glimmer of hope I'm going to deliver to you because we need it right now. But they got to give me something to work with here, our buddies over on the left. And if what we just showed you is any indication, they got a long way to go. Hopefully, they're going to unplug a little bit, put the phone down, touch some grass this weekend, and then we'll come back Monday. And we'll see if they're in a better place. I promise I will be.